Hi, thanks for joining me today. Are you struggling with unfairness in the family? Do some people get given more than others? Subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell and I'll let you know every time I post. It can be so distressing when children are treated differently inside a family. You're wanting everything to be unified and together, and fairness is important. But when you're putting together a step family, things can be very difficult to keep fair. Children, by definition, come from different backgrounds, they have different parents, but they also have different aunts and uncles, grandparents, different financial situations, and it can be really difficult to do something that you really consider important, which is to be fair. And these kinds of unfairness can be really divisive in the family if you let it. One of the big advantages about being in a step family is that you learn about life sooner, sometimes, than if you were brought up in a traditional family and you go into the world thinking everything is going to be like it was at home, fair, and you're special and you're loved and you're this and you're that, and you go into the world and you're not prepared for some of the rough and tumble of work and life. Being in a step family can provide a huge advantage if it's managed. So, if you are in a situation where it's a step family and there are children with different parents within it, it is an opportunity for you to manage the unfairness in a way that the children can understand it and cope with it. So, your stepchild has a very wealthy uncle who invites him to sit in his fantastic sports car and have super trips out at weekends. Or he's got a box to some football club and invites his nephew to these special events. Your child doesn't have any of these benefits. In fact, nothing, no invitation comes his way. Now, you've got a choice. You can either moan and complain and say how life's unfair and ask the uncle if they can't take your son to some of these football matches or out in the sports car occasionally, and you insist that they should all be treated the same. Similarly with presents at birthdays and Christmas times, it can all be very unfair. But the point about it is that the uncle isn't going to want to do that for you necessarily. I mean, they may, but they want to give a special treat to their nephew. So you're better off allowing that to happen and embracing it in a way, but compensate by giving the other children reasons for things to happen like that, so that they're not unhappy. What I'm trying to say is that if you, the step-parent and the parent, are unhappy with the unfairness that is around, then that message will be conveyed to the children and they will think it's unfair. Whereas if you convey the message, little, your half-brother is going off to the football this afternoon, or is going out with his uncle, or has been invited out on a special holiday, or is being given an extra big present. But do you know, life isn't all about money, and life isn't all about getting the lucky breaks all the time. Life, you have fun doing this, you have fun doing that, and people are different, and life isn't fair. Now, if you can convey that to your children and stepchildren positively, then you've done them all a great favour. Because when they go out into the big, wild, wide world and start living life, they will find that life isn't fair, and some people just get lucky and they have all these extra assets and gifts and specialness that others don't have. But it doesn't make your quality of life any worse, or it needn't do. Everyone can find their own happiness, but not if they're told from a very young age, well, that's so unfair and that shouldn't be, and you've been slighted or you're worse off in some way. So the message is, stepfamilies are a unique little environment in which you can recreate the unfairness of life generally, and your job as parents and step-parents in the stepfamily is to make your peace with that and be happy with it. That's your challenge. It's not to try and right the wrongs of unfairness. What we're really trying to do in a stepfamily is to bring up those children, to enable them to be robust enough and savvy enough and at peace with themselves enough to cope with what will be, for us all, inevitably quite a tough life. And a lot of that is about how they reconcile difference between one person and another. And you can teach them that in a stepfamily. It's a gift. We run workshops, sessions, an email response service, and we write booklets. You can find links to our social media and website in the description box below.